Difficult decisions made for King and Queen's Australian royal tour due health and age, but the visit should be celebrated. Australia will get its first official royal tour next month since Prince Harry and Meghan visited our shores 6 years ago, as King Charles and Queen Camilla reveal the dates of their long-awaited visit. The monarch and his wife will be in Sydney and Canberra for the brief tour from October 18th until the 23rd. It has been drastically scaled back due to the King's ongoing treatment for cancer, with a number of accommodations made on medical advice to ensure Charles, 75, is able to preserve his energies. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. Despite having just 4 days of engagements, the King and Queen's tour will be historic and will pack a punch. And it should be celebrated. It comes at a pivotal time for the monarchy during a turbulent year that has seen 2 of its most senior members sidelined due to health reasons. It's also a crucial part of the royal family's long and strong relationship with Australia, particularly as the push for a republic gained momentum following the end of Queen Elizabeth II's 70-year reign. The King will visit Australia for the first time as sovereign and head of state, and His Majesty's first to a Commonwealth country as head of the organisation created by his late mother. It will also be the monarch's first long-haul tour abroad since his diagnosis with cancer earlier this year. As such, the usual jam-packed itinerary of royal visits looks remarkably different, and the palace concedes difficult decisions had to be made. The King and Queen are expected to meet with members of the public in Sydney and in Canberra, but the popular walkabout will be called something different for the first time, out of respect to Australia's Indigenous communities. The term was first coined, during the late Queen's 1970 tour of Australia and New Zealand, to celebrate the bicentenary of Captain Cook's landing. It allowed for members of the royal family to depart from protocol and meet ordinary people, not just officials. The tour will begin with the King and Queen's arrival on the evening of Friday, October 18th. They will have a rest day on the Saturday, with no engagements planned for now. Depending on the King's health, he might choose to add events to his schedule. However, the palace previously warned the couple's itinerary will be subject to doctor's advice, and it may be modified should health grounds require it. Events will start on Sunday, October 20th in Sydney, before moving to Canberra on Monday, October 21st. The King and Queen will return to Sydney on Tuesday, October 22nd for their final full day. Their Majesties will depart Australia for Samoa on Wednesday, October 23rd. While in Australia, the King's schedule will not include evening engagements due to his health and age, in a marked departure from past tours. The King and Queen will also divide and conquer, allowing them to attend as many events as possible in the limited time they have. In Sydney, itinerary highlights include time on Sydney Harbour for a fleet review of the Royal Australian Navy, along with a visit to the Opera House. The King and Queen will attend a community barbecue in Western Sydney, in what is expected to be one of the more colourful events of the tour, highlighting cultural diversity and food producers from across NSW. Camilla is due to meet school children participating in a Queen's Commonwealth essay competition, promoting her devotion to literacy. The King will undertake several engagements relating to cancer, including a meeting with Australians of the Year Professor Georgina Long and Professor Richard Scolyer, who were recognised for their pivotal work on melanoma, one of Australia's most common cancers. In Canberra, the King and Queen will lay a wreath at the Australian War Memorial and attend a reception with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, a self-professed Republican, at Parliament House. Queen Camilla will attend an event relating to her continued awareness of domestic and family violence, a cause she has championed throughout her royal career. Following the Australian leg, the King and Queen will attend the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa's capital. Their Majesties were originally hoping to visit New Zealand, too, but that had to be cancelled. A Buckingham Palace spokesman said of the tour's reduced itinerary, "We've had to, as you would with any visit, think about how you can ensure Their Majesty's energies are preserved to be at their best. There had been some hope earlier in the year for Their Majesties to be able to visit New Zealand. On doctors' advice, and in close consultation with the Australian and New Zealand governments, that wasn't able to take place. We've had to make some difficult decisions about the programme with the Australian government, about where Their Majesties can get to. Royal tours are often crammed with events from morning until evening, and coupled with the time zone difference, long-haul flight and different climate, it can be grueling on anyone, let alone a couple in their late 70s. King Charles and Queen Camilla's tour follows a long history of royal visits to Australia, following in the footsteps of Queen Elizabeth II, who visited 16 times during her record-breaking reign. Confirmation of the tour comes after several years of speculation about a royal visit down under. It will be the first by the King and Queen since the coronation in May 2023. The royal family had come under some criticism for ignoring Australia in 2022 during celebrations for Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee, which saw members dispatched across the Commonwealth. The then Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, now Prince and Princess of Wales, visited the Caribbean, as did Sophie, the now Duchess of Edinburgh. Charles and Camilla were sent to Canada to represent the Crown. The October visit to Australia will be Charles' 16th time in Australia in an official capacity, which will see His Majesty tie with his late mother in terms of visits. The last time he was here was in 2018 for the Commonwealth Games, an event which came just months before the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's Australian tour. Prince William and Kate last visited in 2014. The most recent visit by a reigning monarch was in 2011 when Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II toured with the Duke of Edinburgh. King Charles and Queen Camilla, no doubt, want to ensure Australia's continued allegiance to the Crown and have now made the biggest move yet in doing just that. A successful visit can do wonders for the royal family's popularity, and the King obviously knows this. Having been at the ceremony when Barbados transitioned to a republic in 2021, he's understandably keen to keep Australia part of the realm. And he's definitely not letting his health, or advancing age, get in the way of duty. In other news, according to Richard Eden, the Daily Mail's well-connected society diarist, the medical team are also staying at the estate for a meeting to discuss all health matters relating to the royal family. A medical source said, "It's an important get-together." The King, 75, has been undergoing treatment for an unnamed form of cancer. The Queen, 77, who returned to royal duties last week before heading back to Scotland, is thought to be in rude health. Her Majesty met Sandra Tyler and Jill Hitchman, who were both undergoing a chemotherapy session. Noticing that Sandra was wearing a specialist hat which helps to prevent hair loss, she remarked, "You've got your ice cap on."